Good morning. I'm really happy to be here. I'm a bit nervous, because sometimes I don't want to remember my past. So it is sometimes hard to talk about it and to live this moment again. So I will try my best. Um, the title of my paper is Homeland, Here and There. So, do you think homeland is a place? Is it a geographical place? It could be. But for me, it is not a place. And if we talk about here or there, is it just an adverb of place? Here and there. I was there, but sometimes I was here. So it can be replaced between here and there. And between here and there, it is not just a distance. It is my life, my own life. So I want first to talk about Syria before the war. Syria is not a big land. It is a small country, but one of the most beautiful countries in the Middle East or in the world, I don't know. But for me, it is the most beautiful place. It was like that before war. It, it is rich with diversity in all means. There are many languages, many nationalities. We can say Cherkess, Armenian, Assyrian, Arab, Kurdish, many, and many languages also. And I think, three religions, Islam, Christianity, and Jews, but it was in old times. There were some Jews in Damascus and Aleppo, but they left. So this is some beautiful places in Damascus. You can see in Damascus, or in Syria, mountains, seashores, desert, high mountains, deep valleys. You can see all kinds of terrains. Oh, sorry. I had my plate. I had a medicine at 10 o'clock, but I have it. But I forgot to make this. So here and there, before I came here, I wrote this small poem. I'm sorry for my svenska, it's not good. I mina dikter, hemliga förråd, under ordens sätten, över hårt bevakade gränser tryggt, gick mina drömmar. Yes, I tried my best to say or to express myself, my ideas in my poems, but there should be some secret places to make this meaning I want to say it to pass. And when I came here, the first poem I wrote, this. Solen går nästan aldrig ner hos dig. Så varifrån kommer din källa, mitt land? Här i detta väderkalla främlingskap går solen nästan aldrig upp, men livet känns ändå så varmt. The weather here is really hard. I came from a sunny place, maybe all over the year, there is sun always. So when I came here, it was white. Everything was white. I came here in the middle of February 2018. So it was nothing. I couldn't recognize streets from bushes from. So it was really hard. But I felt that I'm here safe and happy and feel the warmth of life. War in Syria. The war started in 2011. In the beginning, it was just demonstrations, asking or demanding freedom, dignity, change. But I can say after 2 or 3 months, it turned to be something really different, exactly different. It became, for certain time in certain places, a sectarian war between the two majority groups, Sunni and Alawite, or all the minorities. So this view. I took this picture from my window in my place, in my home. And coldness and darkness, because there is no electricity most of the time. So the heat in my apartment was electrical, so there is no heat, no light. And I tried my best to survive. You can see this also from my window, or this candle. I tried to make fun. I bought some beautiful candles to make something new around me. And I was obliged to leave my home because I received threats. Because I am a journalist, and I used to be a journalist in a governmental newspaper. So I was a target for some armed groups, and they asked for me by name. So one of my neighbors advised me, don't come back again, please. I was in the newspaper building, and I had this call from him, and so I couldn't come back to my home. I left, and later they wrapped my furniture, my things, my belonging, and sent them to me in another place. Yeah, I was lonely, scared, worried about everything. When I left my home, I I was not sure that I will be again come back to my home, because when you go out, all kinds of dangers were there. So I tried my best to make a parallel world, because outside, all kinds of fears, dangers, kidnapping, killing, rockets, bombs, every bad thing was outside. And I tried my best to make the balance psychologically, mentally. So I tried to invent something to create another world, a parallel world. There was just this window, like a border between the outside and the inside. Sometimes I spent many days, few days, some days inside. I couldn't go out. So I used to listen to classical music, read books, saw movies, write poems. So writing, especially writing, was my parachute to to land in another place safely. And after a fierce struggle, I could leave. I tried many times to leave Syria. I couldn't leave for a while because my mom was sick. My children were also in Syria, but they left after. In 2014, they left Syria. And my mom in 2016 passed. So after that, I tried my best to leave. I tried with Ben first in Austria, and after 7 or 8 months of emails, calling, they said, sorry, we can't receive you, welcome you, just for 10 days. And you should undertake that you will go back to Syria. So I couldn't. Then I was in touch with ICORN. For the first time, I heard about ICORN, and I applied. I can say I was so lucky to have this opportunity by ICORN to leave Syria. And in the papers or in the email, they said, you are accepted, you are welcome to Östersund. And I said, oh my God, where is this city? For the first time, I was dreaming to leave to Austria, to France, maybe to USA. But Sweden, I know that Sweden was a good place for all the refugees. But it is too cold. I never imagined that I will be here. But I'm really happy. So I accepted. I said, oh, okay, I will come even to everywhere, anywhere I can come. But so I came from this situation with all my sadness, with all my memories, bad and good. I'm here now. This is the situation. So for 2 years, the period of ICORN, the scholarship, I lived like another life. I couldn't imagine that one day, I will be in this situation. I dreamed of this, but I couldn't believe it will be real. I did many good things during these 2 years. I published my first book in Swedish, När vinden exploderar mot min hud. When the wind explodes against my skin. It was, I wrote this book as a diary. I also didn't imagine that one day I will publish this diary as a book. I'm worried about time. So when I came here, I told them the first thing I want to do is to publish this book because it is like a private history, my own experience. Maybe all the people know about war from media, newspaper, TV, but no one knows about our daily life, what happened every day. They know there are, for example, 50 victims, wounded, explosion. But what about people in our daily life? How they faced everything there. So I want people to know that the truth is some else. It is not political truth. It is my own truth, my reality, and the people around me. Friends, families, colleagues, neighbors. I tried to my best, of course. I tried my best to be neutral, logic, honest to what happened. At least what I saw, heard, felt, I wrote all these in this book. And as an icon guest writer, I visited most of the cities in Sweden. I went to Luleå, Umeå, Sundsvall, Stockholm, Malmö, Gävle. I know maybe most of the big cities in Sweden. I did many activities also. I talk about this because people wanted me to speak or to talk about what happened there. So this is my book. You can find it in the library. And the Bokmässan, the book fair in Göteborg with my beautiful friend Marit Kopla, and many good things. Here also in Trondheim, in the National Day of Sweden with Jan Eliasson. I like him so much. And in Rotterdam with Henry Rees. I don't know if you heard about what happened with Salman Rushdie. He was in USA on the stage. He was going to talk about something, and the moderator was Henry Rees. Someone attacked him. He stamped him on the stage. I don't know if he is a radical Muslim but maybe. Almost he is one of these radical Muslims. And one day, I always thinking about Syria. I have this homesickness. I left my dad, my brother, sister, my friends, everything, my short history there, my memories there, my own belongings, my books, everything I left there. So sometimes I felt this homesickness that I want to go there just for a visit or to see my dad. So for 4 years I was like this, but I was afraid really to go there, even for a visit, because I was not sure about the situation, if someone will ask me or arrested me, or I don't know. And in March, 8th of March, my brother called me that my dad had a stroke. So he fell down and also had a fracture in his thigh. I had no passport at that time because I put this passport to renew it in the embassy in Stockholm. And it took a long time. So I didn't know what to do, but I should go there because my relation with my dad is something so special. In our Oriental society, mm, the relation between father and daughters is not that good. But my dad was my hero. He supported me with all my decisions, whatever this decision is. He just asked me, "Are you sure?" Then he wanted me to go ahead. So he was always beside me. And in that moment, I want to be beside him. So I called the embassy that I want my passport. I want to travel. At that moment, I forgot anything about fears, about anything. What will happen, it doesn't matter for me. They said, "You should come here and make another application for an urgent passport, and you should pay the difference." I went there. It was a long, uh, bad experience for me to get the passport, then to book the flight and go there without any impression what will happen. At the moment when I left the borders, Lebanese borders, to the Syrian borders, it was darkness and it was really cold. There was like something like cottages for those people to check my passport. At that moment, I'm really honest to say, I wanted to come back. But because of the situation of my dad, I went ahead. So they stamped, but you know, the corruption, you should pay to check, to have the stamp on your. And you are obliged also to change $100 into Syrian pounds. And they will pay you something with missing amount, a small amount of it. So finally I met my dad. He couldn't recognize me. And it was something terrible for me that my dad cannot remember me. He just looked at me, smiled, with his eyes was not there. His consciousness was not there. Uh, it was hard, really hard. He became like my baby. I tried to take care about him. I spent, when I booked my flight, it was just for 18 days and to come back. So before leaving Syria, I told you that I was a journalist in a governmental newspaper, and when you leave, you should have like a vacation. So before leaving Syria in 2018, I had like unpaid leave for 1 year, and then my attorney in Syria renewed it, but in 2020, they didn't accept this unpaid leave. So I was obliged to make like resignation. So the point is, when they allowed me to go in Syria, but they will not allow me to go out before doing all my papers. And this is a way to make obstacles for anyone. So this paper I need almost 1 month to have it. And after some power or authority, a person with authority there, called the newspaper, you should do it. And they do it in few hours, 2-3 hours. Or you can pay. This paper, my destiny was related to this paper, to be able to leave Syria. So I got this paper after 1 month, and all the branches, what I can say, offices of intelligence service, they called me. 6 branches, 6 offices, military service, and don't know. I have nothing to do with them, but they called me. Why you left? Why you are coming here? What are you doing here? The whole, everything about me, before leaving and after coming to Syria, they asked me, and they asked my brother to know if there is something contradictory or something that. And my attorney, by the way, I must to tell you that I didn't inform anyone that I am in Syria. Even my close friends, I was afraid of everyone. I couldn't trust anyone, even some of my families. Can you imagine this? To be in such a situation, you cannot trust even your brother, your sister. I had like a phobia after all this struggling with papers. And always they ask me, when are you leaving? I told them, I will leave on, the first flight was at 8th of April. And then I couldn't. And I postponed. This is my tickets. So the first one was I left on 20 March. I should come back at 8 April. Then I was obliged to postpone to 24 of April, then to 29 of April. I was in a bad situation, bad mood. I couldn't trust anyone, so I didn't tell anyone. I will not travel. Stop asking me about where are you living. I don't want to say anything about this. And when I came, finally, I could leave. The first thing I did it when I crossed the borders to Lebanon, I called or I sent a message to my previous coordinator, Katarina Anderson. I told her, I'm out now. It was something, I'm free now. It is terrible to feel like that in your homeland. You want to go out. I thought I was in a big prison, and now I'm free. I spent some days in Malmo with my family. Then I came to Östersund. And because I was under big pressure, despair, scared, everything, I had this something like my heart. Oh my God, what happened? I couldn't walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then I want to rest. I went to the health center. They asked me, go to the hospital right now and don't walk. Go by a taxi. I did that. And I spent 5 hours on all these apparatus. They said, it's okay, nothing in your heart. Uh, I told this doctor that I was through a bad situation under big pressure. Maybe this is the problem. And he said, maybe we will check later and later. So this is Östersund. Is it an exile for me, Östersund? It is not. They always ask me, how do you feel in your exile? Oh my God, it's not an exile. It's something, a new stage in my life, a new opportunity to have many good things. And these scenes, of course, we have in Syria, it snows sometimes, and we have this ice, but not like that. It is something like art. You are all artists. And as a poet, I look at everything as something, a piece of art, even for the yellow leaves or the ice. So new scenes, the lakes, and new traditions. I know about Lucia and with this Tom, the first time to meet Santa Claus like this. And lakes, forests, every beautiful things. My first home, the icon home, I called it the icon home. And between here and there, what can I say? Homeland is where I can feel safe, free, happy, respect. And for me, exile is not a land or geography. It is more a feeling, because many times I felt that I am a stranger in in my society, because I have different ideas, different perspectives. They want to kill me because of this different perspective. Uh, so Sweden, for me, is not an exile. It is a land of new possibilities, experience and imagination, because I wrote many good poems, I can say, beautiful poems about nature. Every detail of nature, I wrote about it. So writing is my original home. Language is my original home. So where I can write freely is my homeland. And I want to add something, that how can you feel that you are free? I think it is really important to be able to choose. When you can choose, you are free. But in my homeland, I couldn't choose everything. Is there any Muslim here except me? I can tell something. When I was in Syria, because I have different perspectives, different view, I decided to choose again everything in my life. So I wanted to be a Christian. But in Syria, this is prohibited, and you could be killed for this. So when I came here, I asked for three things: to publish my book, to have a cat, and to be Christian. And I had my baptism in the big church here in Östersund. So this is the freedom to be able to choose. Wow. I added this later. I asked nothing. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, this is what happened in Homs. Thank you so much. I hope I could tell you something about Homeland here and there. Thank you so much.
Suzanne, I I must thank you and say that I think everyone was really moved by your speech, and it's a reminder to all of us and also those who are not here today that every refugee is a human being and has a history, and it's our goddamn duty to even if it's not easy to make space for refugees because we have the means and we can afford it. Thank you so much. It was so